Hi, so I thought it would be fun to make a little video recording of this chart for you. And so the first thing I did was bring it out to the weekly so I could see what is happening with this since inception. So I see that it IPO'd around $1.60, $1.70. So firstly, the tools that I like to use are the volume profile. I don't know how familiar you are with these various tools, but I really like the volume profile because it gives you a good idea of like where the support levels are. So this thing in the middle is what the volume profile is. So it gives you a good indication of where the support levels and resistance levels are. So I find that very helpful. And then I like to use the RSI to give me an idea of where the market momentum is headed and if it's losing steam in one direction or another. So I have these big purple arrows on here as measured moves. So there are so many different ways to analyze charts, and which is one of the reasons I really enjoy analyzing charts, is because it's a little bit artistic, it's a little bit intuitive, and there's just so many different ways that you can look at it that it's very creative. And anyway, so one of the things you can do is look for measured moves, because the market tends to move in twos. And so when there's a big move in one direction, then it gives you an idea that that particular equity can move that same volume in that direction. And so, measured move targets are not always met, but they can give an indication of where the market may want to go. And so I just wanted to get a good feel of basically the volatility, like how far and wide does this crypto want to move. And so that's where I put in the second purple arrow, just to give me an idea, if this thing were to go down, how far would it really want to go? But just to give me an idea. But I think in this case, I'll start from the beginning. So we can see it IPO'd, it had this big downward trend, and then it recovered quite nicely back up to the $8 level. And then over this past couple of years, it has retraced. So that gives me an idea of where it's going. So back in 2021, it peaked and then retraced through 2022 in this big downward channel. And then it recently broke out of this downward channel in 2023, and it's been in this sideways channel since then. So that kind of gives me an idea of like where it is overall from the very beginning. We are definitely more toward the bottom than toward the top. But you can see that there is a lot of space down here where it has previously gone to. So it has gone all the way down to like this 30-cent range. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, anything else I want to say about that? So when I look at the RSI, I use it as an indicator of like, is this looking more bearish? Is it looking more bullish? Is it looking for a turnaround? So here, if we go out to, where is my thing? here. So we had like this little bottom in this channel right here, and the RSI was down around 35, 34. Okay, and then we had a similar bottom just now that we're at. Very similar, maybe slightly lower, but we can see the RSI is a little higher. So that tells me there is some bullish momentum here, or at least it's telling me that the downward momentum of this asset is losing steam. So that would be a good thing for a bullish reversal. So that's on the weekly chart. So let's take it to the daily. So the daily. All right. Okay, so we just finished this. So we're inside this big blue sideways channel range. And then we recently had this retracement in this yellow channel from March of this year. And we've just been in this downward trend since then. But around September 19th, it broke up through that downward channel. So we had this nice breakout through this downward channel, and we retested this high, which was 75 cents, which then got rejected in this channel. So so this little sideways channel here tells me that price is definitely consolidating, and it's deciding whether it wants to continue to move down or to move up. And so the question is it going to continue to move down? Are we going to the 30 cent range, or are we moving back up into the channel? So here, so we can start with looking at the volume profile. So where are we on the volume profile? The point of control is at 68 cents. And we can see that just yesterday, we broke down below that point of control with this big red candle, which is not so great. So now we are below this point of control. There's this, at this range, this 68, 69, this is a big support level. It goes down to 68 cents. This is a big support level, and it broke down through here. So that's not so great. With after this big red candle from yesterday, it definitely looks like it's coming down to retrace this support level. So it's essentially coming down to the bottom of this channel, which will probably be around 64 cents. So that would be the next stop that I'm expecting here after yesterday's red candle. It has a pretty good support here at 65 cents, 65 to 64 cents. So that's good. We'll see if it can hold this support down to maybe 63 cents, but like once it breaks below 62 cents, there's very little support here. So you can look over here in the profile, the support just breaks down. So once it drops below, if it drops below 62 cents, I would be wary. So if I look at the RSI, let's see what the RSI is indicating. So if we come back here, the RSI down here bottomed out into way oversold territory. And then as we moved sideways, we get to this bottom here, and the RSI is a little bit more positive. So that was a bullish divergence on the RSI, and so that predicted then the upward movement from there. So so then we had a nice retest of the 75 cent range. But then we got this big fat rejection, and Now it's trying to make a new bottom here around 63 cents. So if we look at the RSI here, on this day we've got this 63-cent bottom, and on this day 63-cent bottom, and the RSI is moving in a bullish direction. So then that predicted then the upward movements to this little 71-cent range. However, it has now retested that 71-cent range twice. So we've got one top here, rejection. And now we can see the RSI is like falling a little bit off the cliff. It's falling hard and fast. So I always look at the recent bottom. So like the recent low, which is around here, which is around the 67-cent range, and the RSI there is a little higher, and then we just went through that and the RSI just kind of tanked off from there. So that's telling me that it is gaining some bearish momentum here, which just tells me that this price is looking to retrace back to 63 cents, 63 cents, to retest this support down here. And then we'll have to see from there, can it find the support it needs there, or is it going to break down through? So, so that's that. So we're looking like this is kind of toward a bottom, and it's certainly out of this downward trend, which is definitely a positive thing. And so it's just like it's finding some consolidation in this, 60 some cent range. Let's see, anything else I want to say about this? We can use measure move targets as well. Like if we do this, okay, we've got one big momentum move there, and then so we take that same size and we put it, we retrace to here, and then it would indicate a measure move target there. So that's a possibility, but if we look down here, like it tried to get up past the 71 cents, it failed. It tried again to get up that 71 cents, and then it failed. So it tried to do that twice, or you could say 3 times. But it tried for that 71 level twice, and then it failed. So that's not so hot. So I would say that would, right now, that's kind of, not that this is out of play. It's not out of play yet. That could still possibly be in play. But it's definitely not looking so good since it broke down through this recent low at 67 cents and is now moving lower. So that's bearish, and it's telling me that it's retracing to the bottom here, which is fine because hopefully it can find a nice support here in this 60-cent range, and then it'll slowly gain some momentum to go in the upward direction, because even though this candle it's like falling harder and faster as I'm like looking at this. So this big red candle, it's not looking so great on the RSI here. It's still not horrible if it can find some support, but anyway, this is definitely coming down to 64, 63 cents. That's what I have to say about that. And then we'll just have to see if it can find the support there. But if it doesn't, if it breaks below 62, it's so long. It could go back down into the 30-cent range, but I'm not sure that is likely to happen because it looks like it's gaining some pretty good support here. So, the other thing I wanted to show you is just to bring up the EMAs, just so we can the moving averages, just so we can see where it is from a moving average perspective. And you can see like all of the moving averages are above where we are. So this, like yesterday's candle, it just broke right down through there. So that's another bearish indicator. It's coming down to figure out where it can get some support before moving back up, which again looks to be around the 63-cent range. So if you were looking to add to your position, I would look around the 63-cent range, but I would also want a confirmation, a bounce confirmation candle. Like, you know, get a reversal before entering and make sure that it doesn't just go crashing down through here. It's important to wait for that reversal confirmation before really buying in. So anyway, I think that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.